Finally.
Yeah. You still owe me dinner.
Listen, no. I owe you. Listen, if I show you my calendar, everybody is on my ass. You have no idea.
Well, listen, you running with Nick Cannons and all. You thought about being a publicist?
No, I did work in PR
Really?
and marketing before I got into this.
Well, maybe get back. I would let you represent me.
Really?
I'm serious. You out here. Because you need somebody that's going to cuss some people out.
Yes.
I know you'll do it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't play no games. You know what I'm saying? So, but Ed Long Jr.
We're here.
I like to call you the baby.
I'm with it.
The baby son.
I'm with it.
Listen, I was a little taken aback when you reached out. I was like, you want to sit down with me? But I was just like, I had to think back. I was like, I've always been a fan of your father.
Praise
so.
God.
Regardless of our indiscretions, and I kind of know a little bit more than, I'm sure I don't know as much as you, but as far as things that were said that weren't true. And I've always stated that on my platform.
Gotcha.
And so, but we'll talk about that a little later, but I just kind of wanted to clear the air with that.
Thank you.
When it comes to that. And so your father changed my life. I'm going to be honest with you. So, and I think I told you this, we were supposed to do an interview a couple weeks ago. I got double scheduled, but I was going through a really, really, really bad depression. I was homeless.
Wow.
Yes, I was home. I don't even talk about that with nobody. You know what I'm saying? I think this is the first time I've ever even mentioned it.
So we really getting you to unwind.
Yes. I just want to, I just kind of want you to know how much respect I have for your dad. So he used to have the sermons on his cassette tapes.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so this was 2004. 2003, 2004.
I was right here then, fam.
Yeah. I told you, Panama City, Florida.
Right.
Yes. And so I remember I was sleeping on the floor. I had a bad sinus infection at the time. And I was homeless, depressed, losing my job. I was dating a dude who was gay. He was not bisexual.
Did you know?
I didn't know at the time.
Got it.
All this just kind of hit the fan.
So he wasn't bisexual, so y'all wasn't even doing nothing.
No, we were doing stuff, but I don't think it was more so of a down low type situation.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, so I was scared about my health, It was a lot of stuff. Like, I don't think I've ever said this to the winos, but I remember putting in a cassette tape of his, and he was talking about just letting go. Yeah, I wish to God, and I wanted to call the lady that I was living with at the time because she still has a lot of his old cassette tapes with his sermons, and I remember just crying, and I started listening to him all day, every day, just to kind of regain my focus in life because I was just like, I'm 22 years old. Like, how did I get here?
Listen, it's funny you're talking about that because, in 2004. Because one of my main reasons for leaving Atlanta, and I know we'll get to my book. I kind of talk about this in the book.
And that's why we're here is because of this book. And I'm
me?
So glad that you wrote this book.
Listen, it's all good.
Yes.
but you never know what somebody is and how things are parallel. You're in Panama in 2004. I'm at FAMU.
No, I was in Atlanta.
You was in Atlanta.
Yeah, I had just moved. I had been in Atlanta probably a year and a half, and shit had hit the fan.
Well,
lost my apartment, lost everything, eviction, all that.
I hit a low, one of my lows at that point too.
Really?
2004. Well, I'm going off what you're talking about as far as the dude being gay and you scared for your life.
Yeah.
All this kind of stuff. Because I understand the STD fear and all this kind of stuff.
I had so many girls, they was popping up.
I got exposed to herpes.
Really?
In 2004. So the same time. You feel me?
Yeah.
Young lady I was very deeply involved with. Awesome young lady. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I actually really started tuning into my dad's messages. I grew up in the house.
Yeah.
So I hear these messages all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's funny how God is. It's not till we really need him that we start listening to him speak.
Yeah.
And so you talking about my dad's messages in your low, reaching you, and that as his son, that's when I started listening.
I just had this big, just kind of chill just went over me because it was such a low point for me. Like, I couldn't go back home because at the time there was no home, and then I'm in Atlanta and I'm living with a complete stranger.
Facts.
And this guy, I lost my apartment because of the guy. I lost my car. I was damn near managing all of the Applebee's here in Atlanta. demoted from that because of him. It was, and then you're running off, sleeping with men, and I'm scared for my life. Like,
wow.
Is some shit gonna pop up in years to come? You know, I was suicidal, and that's why nobody can't tell me shit about your daddy.
Wow.
At all. Because I just go back to that moment and I'm like, listen, let's just say everything was true. Okay? Let's just say that. First of all, hypothetically.
let me put
that hypothetically, right? All right? First of all, and like I said, I know information about that situation that I was just like, And I got people that will come sit down and be like, it wasn't all that. It wasn't even that.
You should have invited them. Go ahead.
You know what? Matter of fact, I will. I really will. So, but I guess to make a long story short, like, my father, I always go back to my own daddy. My dad got a baby with my mama, that's me, a baby with his wife, babies with strippers, and it's like, but my dad, at the end of the day, I could still call my dad because he's a pastor.
Yeah, and I didn't know that too.
And get the word. You know what I'm saying? So I don't judge him based off of his indiscretions on that. Those are facts. However, but I don't miss the message. And I believe a lot of times, you know, now unfortunately there are some things that are just, I believe, you know, we can't get past, like, you know, a pastor that had a situation here. I think his name is Dwayne. I just did a story on him, and I can't even remember.
Everybody.
No. Hold on.
Let me get
Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Listen. I just did a story on him because I just want to compare the two because I do know for a fact that everything that was said about your dad, those boys came out and said it did not happen.
You must have watched that interview.
I sure did. I sure did. There was no sex. There was no. Then what the fuck was it?
What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
And then talking to a lot of their friends that are in the LGBT community here, it was all planned. It was a scam, and they're broke. They're not doing well. The plan didn't age well, and there it is. So I mean, and I know that because I did my own research.
My God,
I'm like, what are we talking about?
I can leave.
Look, why you gonna leave? You say interview's over. Look, we're done. No, and I'm serious, and my viewers know that from day one. Wow. I did a video on that. Matter of fact, I did a video when he passed, and that hurt me. Like when everybody was talking about that, I said, "What did we talk about?" A man just died here who has literally shifted the trajectory of lives in Atlanta.
Come on.
And plus, so you know, this interview is personal to me, and I know I'm making it about myself. I didn't even expect it to go here, but I wanted to mention that one pastor. Hold on, what is his name? He just did an apology. Hawkins, Dwight Hawkins.
Oh, I know of him vaguely.
Well, so does OnlyFans right now. He likes to hit it from the back with no protection. I was just like, now visuals like that, you can't get past that. Like I said, there was nothing substantiated that with your dad, and I really want to put focus on that. But let's talk about you. What made you write a book?
So before we go there.
Okay.
Before we go there, I just want to celebrate you real quick.
Really?
Yeah, Cinco de Mayo is right around the corner. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes.
So forget a box. I had to do the best I could.
He brought me something. That is so. Hold on, let me move the wine out the way. We got to fill up them glasses too, but I wasn't trying to get too lit.
It's all
while
good.
Crying.
Maybe rip it up from this side.
Okay.
And I can make sure it's right side up.
I got a surprise. Let me see. Let me not break because I cut my finger yesterday and broke this nail lifting boxer.
And I can do it if need be.
Please, because I'm literally, my husband had to run out to CVS last night. I thought I was gonna get stitches. I said,
listen, we don't need
I know, right?
We don't need you to show up at the ER.
Listen, I was like, I got to work. I am not going to no ER, no urgent care. And can I say thank you in advance?
You're welcome.
Wow.
Just make sure it's the right side up.
I don't think I've ever seen him bring anybody else a gift.
No.
Listen. I know, it's hard. I'm glad because, listen, nail gone here. This one cut.
The box works.
Okay. Let me move this out the way. I don't want to.
All right, I can flip it over.
Okay, now we can flip it over.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
And none of your other sponsors
Cinco de Mayo. Oh, no.
This is your copy of the book.
Thank you.
All right, boom.
Okay.
This one we're going to let stand up for the viewers and everybody to be able to see.
And what we're talking about is son of a bishop, okay? Because you are the son of a true bishop.
Already.
So
True bishop.
Bishop Eddie Long.
Come on.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Let me see. Okay.
You pull this box that way.
All right.
Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun.
All right. Oh, shit. Oh, wow.
Dun-dun-dun.
What is this? Okay, this is us all fancy and everything. Okay, daily. Now you know. How you know I love tequila?
It's all good.
How do you know I love wine too? Wow, that's a damn gift.
So the recipe for the mixer, you can make it at home and store it in this bottle. Got you some nice glasses for your tequila. You feel me? For
This
your
is
margaritas
so
and all
good.
that.
Look at this. Thank you.
There you go. It's all good.
I should have my nails done to present.
Got your lime salt.
Okay, got the bottles, got the rocks glasses. Let me try to see if I can turn this over this way. This is nice. Wow. I'm going to hug you after the interview. This is nice. This is nice. Now, this is a gift, okay? Take notes. Thank you. Look, your daddy must have put this on your heart. He sure did. He was like, take us some tequila.
Gotta make sure you unwind right.
No, in the box. I mean, the box is beautiful.
It's all good.
Thank you.
Good. So shout out to De Leon.
Thank you, De Leon. Okay, we're going to leave that right there. We're going to have a little drink after.
It's all good.
Got these copies here.
It's all
Son
good.
of a bishop. So what made you write a book about your dad?
It's just time.
Okay.
You feel me?
Okay.
My social media followers, they really be engaged with me. And so I put up some polls on my story. You feel me? And I just asked a simple question. I was just like, yo, I'm thinking about writing a book.
Okay.
Now, mind you, I'm a minister.
Yes.
Radio, I thought about writing some teaching.
Okay.
Literature, helping people to approach having a radio career, launching a career in radio.
Right.
Just a myriad of things, stuff on relationships, etc. And I just put up a poll, and the overwhelming response was, what's it like to be your dad's son?
Yeah.
So my thing has always been, don't fight the funk. You know what I'm saying? Don't go against the grain. And if this is what people is asking you for, then anything else you do right now is going to be force feeding. Feed them what they're asking for. And so I just prayed about it, just meddled on the thought for a little while, and I just started writing. I got a partner. His name is Marcus Roger, and I was on one of his.
You know
from down there where you from?
You know we went to school together.
I didn't know y'all went to school together.
Yes, me and Marcus went to school together.
That's dope.
He know me. I need to have him on this show. I really
Marcus
do.
can talk, man.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Marcus probably gonna kill me when I say this. There's a lot of people that pretend like they got something going on in Panama, right?
I got you.
And I was watching to see if it was authentic. You see what I'm saying? Not to say that he's not authentic. I think the work that he's doing is absolutely amazing, and especially coming from where we come from. That shit, we don't hear that shit coming up.
Got you.
I ain't never seen no black doctor, lawyer, or nothing coming up. So he can tell you that, But I need to have him on the show. I really do. We grew up together, went to school together. We know each other's family and stuff, so yeah.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
That'd be good. So I jumped on one of his trainings he was doing just about writing books.
Okay.
If you will. And I walked away with maybe 2 or 3 nuggets that I just put in the process real quick. And I just started writing, with really no trajectory other than this is going to be about me and my dad. You feel me?
Wow.
And so the writing helped me to heal. Because you got to understand, when I started writing this, we like a year or so after my dad's transition. I'm actually living with a friend at that time. You feel me? I'm going through all of this stuff concerning the church. I was left on contract at the church. They didn't honor the contract. So that's one stream of income. And forget the money. That's for me, because money is here to me. Purpose,
Right.
favor, all these other things. I've been able to move throughout life based on purpose, favor, and relationship. That money wouldn't even have been receptive. You feel me? And so I'm sitting here and I'm just scratching my head now like, okay, purpose redefined. If I'm not going to be utilized here, then what, so I got so many questions. Then, of course, there's a level of anger, a level of disappointment, levels of just all kind of emotions. Mm-hmm. And I knew I did not want the finished product to be negative. So I was going to stave that off as long as possible. But I had to at least get started. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so I just got started. And I had a friend of mine who, Deborah, who just sat with me. And I've known her maybe 15 years. She's a long-term member of the church. She's a writer. She's a lot of things. And she gave me the safe place to talk, to write, to bounce stuff off of her. She transcribed some of the stuff, etc., that I could just be. Because you need a safe place. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel comfortable in this room.
Really?
Stuff. Man, listen, I know if these walls could talk, they got something to say. It's a whole nother book.
There's a lot of wine in here. Listen.
But point being is I needed that incubator in order to grow this. It was a greenhouse, if you will. We cried on the phone together and all this type of stuff. But it was necessary release, couple were going to therapy and all these other type of things, because it's funny, I texted a friend the other day who's going through a divorce right now, and what I heard for him was the same thing that somebody heard from me, but I just heard it in my closet last night, and I texted him immediately, and what it was, the statement was, don't stay here too long.
That's pretty deep.
Because and I'm not trying to preach.
Listen, I got that same message.
You feel me?
Last week.
Wow, see how that's
right? In my closet.
Wow.
Yes.
Come on.
The winos know about my closet at the house. I be live in my closet,
Wow.
Yeah.
So don't stay here too long. Mm-hmm. And for, I don't know who watching, which one of these cameras grabbing us, whatever. But,
all of them. So you good. Yeah. The reviews says it all. It's time to unlock the secret to freshness, happiness, and overall great feminine hygiene. It's something we don't like to talk about, but around 80% of women experience feminine odor a few times a week. Here's the solution. Belle's Secret created a formula that washes away odor-causing bacteria, heals your vulva, and balances your pH. Plus, it's all natural. Check out bellsecret.org to start your journey to better feminine hygiene and use the code TASHAK20 to save on your purchase now.
I was placed in this hospital room for high blood pressure complications. I did everything my doctors told me to do, including taking the prescribed medications, which I've been on for years, but I still ended up here. When I got out, I learned about my olive leaf, an all-natural extract that got my hypertension under control. Don't continue to drug yourself into becoming healthier. Go to myoliveleaf.biz to learn more.
If you're like me and suffer from hyperpigmentation and ingrown hair due to excessive shaving and waxing on your cooch, inner thighs, and other intimate areas, I've got something for us. And Skin Souffle has created some amazing organic skincare products just for us. Even if your skin is super sensitive like mine and you always scratching, at Skin Souffle's Intimate Razor, Bump Corrector, and Super Strong Dark Spot Eraser are ideal products to help make your skin perfect all again. Order now at skinsouffle.net and use the promo code TASHAK for 10% off.
I still love him. He's still my brother. That's my mama's child.
Everybody doesn't have the how to go with the who.
You only really have one physical sense, which is touch.
Get back to where we were, we would need to segregate.
Mainly, most people that fall for this are gay.
And you all need to figure some things out.
Like, oh, I see why my mommy did what she did.
Trust me when I say this shit's gonna happen. It's gonna fly.
I believe in a hand up and not a handout.
You could go through my DMs. There's no women shooting their shot at me in my DMs.
He went and found his mama
and him.
Here, it's like in this economy we in right now, a house may be valued at one thing right now while the economy is up, but as they grabbing this thing and shooting rates up and all this and it slows down, you don't want to end up upside down in that same house that was a blessing because you stayed too long. And so emotionally, psychologically, we can waddle in a place for too long and then miss the opportunity to level up and move out into whatever is really for us.
That was a word. That was a whole word.
Listen, so I just said I can't be here too long. I gotta get past this. And everybody who I was talking to, and you know, this is what bothers me about preachers.
Why?
Because it's like yesterday I went to this march, man, and they marching about voting rights and stuff, and I'm for all of that. I'm for it. But preachers will call out the injustices of government officials and, you know, all of that outside stuff. But preachers will know injustices are taking place in the church
and won't
say nothing, but I'll be praying for you.
Yeah, and won't say
Negro,
shit.
I don't need just your prayers.
Yeah.
I need your works too. You got the ability to do something and you won't do anything. You won't speak up, you won't do nothing. But then you be out here down in South Georgia concerning Arbery getting shot or over here about this, but you will know something right here and won't say nothing. And so for me, going through that, talking with different pastors and, oh man, that's not right, or yeah, they say, or this and or just knowing stuff wasn't cool. You feel me? But won't do nothing. It really pushed me further away from a lot of the junk in the institution, and it pushed me way closer to God. Because, you know, a lot of people go through stuff in life and say, to hell with God.
Yeah, that's different.
You feel
It's
me?
like you already going through fucked up situations, and it's coming from a very negative space or a learning space. I don't like to use the word negativity a lot because a lot of times we're learning and they won't, I guess, seek answers as to why, you know, they're going through certain things. People ask me all the time, like, Tasha, how do you cope with a lot of the stuff that goes on? And I say, I go ask for answers. So God, universe, people that are put in my life to help me to make sense of it all. So that was a lot that you just said there.
Listen. So I got a whole nother vantage point just on people in general. It causes me to be more empathetic towards them. At the same time, it's caused me to shuffle the deck on words that we use. People I used to call friend, I don't call friend no more.
Oof.
They my associate. We just associated. Because if as a friend, if my house was burning down right now.
Man, listen, go ahead, preach. Listen. Go ahead. Go ahead, this pollen. Go ahead.
You feel me? That's like a barometer. Traumatic situations are a barometer for who is who in your life. If I can call a friend and like, bro, it's too late, man, I'm asleep. All right, got you, no problem. And if I pick up and call Tasha K and she say, I'm on the way. I could have known you for 3 days, but I got to move you up simply because you heard my cry. Paul and Peter are talking saying, listen, silver and gold have I not, but such as I have, bro. Listen, it's raining outside. I don't have no umbrella. I don't have no money to call you no Uber. But fam, this is my favorite hat. But if it's gonna save your hair from getting messed up, I know you just got your hair done. Take my hat. I'ma give you what I got.
Let me read something to you real quick. Hold on. This is like, I don't know if this is what serendipity or what do you call that when it's like
it's just divine timing.
It's just divine timing. Okay, hold on real quick. Let me read something to you.
That's why I wasn't tripping on all your reschedulings.
No, listen.
I said it's gonna work out.
It's gonna work out, and when it does, it's gonna work. So hold on real quick. Okay, so hold on. All right, so I wrote my husband a letter last night.
Okay.
It was on my heart. I'm not gonna read the whole letter, you know what I'm saying? But there was a part in there that you just preached on. I said I've allowed myself to be pulled away from things I needed because of fear, okay? And I said fear of not being liked, loved, or accepted. And so I've slowly became a people pleaser as a means to survive, okay? And it can work both ways. Like what I do as entertaining, that's a form of like pleasing people, entertaining people, taking them away from, you know, the things that are occupying their minds. Now, the emails that we get are substantial. I mean, I'm talking about profound, right? And then I said, hold on for a second. I said, well, these last 2 years I've resorted back to my old habits, people pleasing out of fear of them not loving me. And then I said, hold on, who can I call? I said, they took me from you. And while you motivated me, I was blinded by this idea, okay, that I've made it so I can relax in a reality that was a lie told to me by my toxic ass circle. Right? No. Listen, listen. And I said, a so-called made it to them because in their eyes, I have more than them. But I haven't even reached a fraction of what I'm trying to do with media, right? And then I said, I could never talk business with them or even tell them about my work. And I said, and any time that I've gone through something, I couldn't call them. I couldn't talk to them about it because none of my friends have anything in common with what I have going on. It's people that I've, created, I guess, so-called relationships with. And they just kind of came along, for the ride. And then, if shit hits the fan or I'm going through something, I can't call them and talk. They don't know. You know what I'm saying? And so who do you gravitate to? The people that, like my husband, my team, even though my team works for me and I pay them, those are relationships out of that. So what you just said was a lie. I literally just wrote this letter last night.
And I want to push that further.
Yes.
Because Jesus had multitudes. He fed multitudes, and as he did miracles, it was almost like Sunday service. People just began to follow along. And, the word is spreading, word of mouth, all of this. So he's got these multitudes following him. But then we know he has the 12, the 12 disciples, who he's got much more of an intimate relationship with. They be unwinding with him. That's what communion was.
Yes.
Unwind with Jesus.
Yes, I love it.
You know what I'm saying?
It.
That's what it was.
I love
and
it.
So sitting at a table just like this, doing their old school podcast.
Okay.
And I mean that because somebody was recording it to still play it. We creeping up on resurrection and all of this right now. Now, what happens is that of that 12 who was intimate with Jesus, let me qualify this. Intimate in meaning they tight bros.
Yeah, because they're going to be like, he was gay.
He said Jesus.
Gay, listen, no.
So,
intimacy is a very
exactly. Go and study the
broad word. Yeah. So,
but next to that 12, or out of that 12, there's a 3 that he's more intimate or close with. These are his partners. These are the ones that he really leans on. These are the ones who he can really trust. These are the ones that they've got just more depth. You feel me? But even in that, when it came time for him to go through some of his worst traumas.
Let me turn this around real quick, make sure we get this sound. There you go.
It's all good. When it came time for him to go through his worst trauma, going to the cross, all right, he says, hey man, y'all come hang with me for a moment. I need to pray. And I need y'all to pray with me. And they couldn't do that. You can't even pray with me for an hour, bro. I'm sitting here crying to the point it's turning the blood coming out of my eyes. I'm tripping right now. And so he had to walk that alone. And I had to get comfortable. With sometimes we go through some stuff that we just gotta walk it alone. And it sucks because it's like, dang. So the most me and you can do is drink together.
Yeah.
The most me and you can do is go out to eat, drink together, and, maybe talk about some stuff we overcome. If I got some minor financial issues or something, you might let me hold some, or maybe you can refer me to an accountant, whatever. But in the thick of something, when I'm going through some public scrutiny, some this, some that, some heavy stuff, where y'all at?
Nowhere.
I got to really walk this alone. Jesus had to walk it alone. But now here's the caveat, all right? When he was going through his worst public scrutiny, going from Pilate's steps to now to the cross to be crucified, struggling to carry his own cross meaning his burdens, his situation, his mess that he's in right now. Here's somebody along the way that comes on and helps him carry his mess, helps him pick up his stuff, pick up his cross, and carry it. This wasn't his partner. This wasn't his homeboy. This wasn't the one who he was turning up with, etc. And there are a few people that I can look at to say, wow, I didn't even know this person.
Right.
And they came along when your tail should have been there. when you should have been stepping up. This is the person that they from a whole nother country. That's why when we was talking offline, I even shared, I've been exploring other stuff, linked up with other organizations and stuff, people that I don't even know exist. But in my worst time came and said, we've been watching you and we want to support you. We want you to be. And so if you haven't had that experience, that's my prayer for you.
Oh, no. A reality check hit when I was on spring break last week.
Good.
So, and I, I'm a firm believer in all things are a lesson. I try not to get, even though I know the Bible says one thing, we take our interpretations from that and apply it to our lives and stuff. But like, I believe God made all good and evil, right? Or, lessons, bad lessons, good lessons. Because in order to know good, you got to know bad. And so in order for me to figure out like who's who or what's what, in order to accomplish the things that I need to accomplish, there needed to be a reality check. Some things needed to happen drastically in order for me to see, like, damn. So I go through things. I can't pick up the phone to call nobody. But when they going, marriages is fucked up, money fucked up, they calling me, burdening me with all that stuff, and I listen. I'm there. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one that's always giving out the money, But if I really needed something, that was a letter to my husband. I was like, we're always doing this and doing that and giving here and giving that. But when does anybody ever call to check to see what we need?
You built different.
And that's what I said. I said we are built different, but at the same time, we're human. We're not just, we work really hard to attain, and we always have. We're a team, but I got distracted by a group of friends taking me, I'm going on trips here, out to dinner here. He got the baby and shit. Where you at? And I'm thinking, such and such needs me. But then when I go through something. Where? Not a happy birthday, not a, oh, you okay? Not talking shit about me even when we together. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, listen.
I know
listen. My mom, and that's why my mama, like, God bless her, we've had like our issues, but she always said, watch these so-called friends. They're not friends. They're jealous of you. And I never could process, like, who would be jealous of me? Why would people be jealous of me? And so when you said that hit, I'm telling you, you're walking in the spirit of your dad.
Hey, listen.
In this book, yes.
It's a chapter in the book. It's called People of People.
Yes.
And we unpacking this. That's one of the best lessons my dad taught me, was to understand that people are people. It don't matter they celebrity. It doesn't matter how much money. It doesn't matter how much clout. All of that. It still goes back to that analogy I was just sharing. And it's really up to us. That's why you said that eye-opening experience of mitigating our expectations on people.
I'm telling you, it's like, and I think people too, because, and I'm sure I've done it, made people, I guess, believe I'm here and I'm here and I'm there and I'm there and I'm going to be there. And it may be a time when I can't be there. You know what I'm saying? And so all of this too, it's like, because I'm a firm believer in karma too. Like, well, was I there when I really needed to be there? Or was I there because it was something in it for me? You know what I'm saying? So it's so much in that chapter. And what I love about your book, The Son of a Bishop, you did not address haters. You spoke about your upbringing and how it was to be a son of your father. And I hope I said that right. It's the wine. But, and I like that. And it was very, your book was very personal. And I don't want to give any details away because I want people to experience, the book for themselves, because a lot of people, they have questions. And I believe a lot of those questions were answered to the best of your ability in here. But at the end of the day, you were not him. You are a vessel of him. And so, I mean, like I said, you even being here today, I had no idea it was going to be like this. I'm like, you're interviewing me. What the fuck? Like, what the? Listen. It's like the pastor here. I'm like, listen, I got all this stuff going on.
Anything else need to get off your heart? Doors to the church are open.
I'm like, damn. The widows gonna clown me. That's okay. That's okay. We believe in being 100% authentic here. But Yeah, that was a lot. That was a word. Now, I'm sorry I had to take that word from you. I mean, I guess, you know.
You good. No.
I just wanted you to know. I was just writing this letter last night.
didn't see.
Now, ain't nothing wrong with my marriage. You know, we all good. I don't want to spread rumors out there. But, you know, I've been spending a lot of time journaling, writing, you know, and really coming to some realizations. And I was like, damn, I've been neglecting my husband, neglecting my family, focused on people that don't give a shit about me. And at the end of the day, who's always here?
I mean, he was here when I pulled up.
Yeah, he always
breaking stuff down.
He always here. I be like, damn, I be trying to go out. I don't want to go. He don't want to go nowhere. No, but back to you. Now, as you were writing this book, you said it was very emotional for you, and I could tell that even writing about it because you did reveal a lot about yourself and some of your, I guess, what would I call it, lessons. Like, I love how you talked about the transition between living, you know, with your mother and how different it was with your father. Because, you know, there's this persona out here that you're, you know, expectations that people have of, you know, your father. But I love how in this book you made him really human. He didn't spoil you. You know, he didn't, you know, I guess, you know, gift you lavish things. Like, he was really there to show you, I guess, how can I put this? How life is really going to be. He didn't want to give you this false, I guess, pretense of, you know, he's very wealthy. Well, he wasn't wealthy the entire time. You know, you coming up. But, you know, even though we have what we have, you still, as his son, have a job to do. You're a man at the end of the day. And he's always been very upfront with you, according to your book, that, you know, I know you're living with your mom, but one day you're going to live with me. And he wanted to show you truly how to be a man. And I think, you know, even you sitting here today and watching everything that you have, you know, accomplished and going on, you sharing, you know, your trials and tribulations, he has truly taught you how to be a human. Even though you didn't live with him, you know, the first part of your life that much.
That's good. I mean, it's very.
And I'm sorry, I know I threw a lot there.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very introspective.
Yeah.
Had things gone differently, I don't know that I would have the resilience I have.
Yeah.
At this point in life, you know, our upbringings. A lot of us question our upbringings. Why wasn't my dad there? Why wasn't my mama there? Why this? Why that? Why that? You know. But at the same time, like you mentioned, the good and the bad. You know, a lot of these things that we view as bad is really, it's like it's filling up our tank to give us the endurance for the long haul. You know, you see some other people who may have had everything, but they have no depth to them. They have no fight in them. They have no get up and go. They have no clearly identified purpose or passion, if you will. And so I think that was the thing for myself that my dad was most focused on, was I had to figure out how to fight. My granddaddy was a mean Negro. You know what I'm saying? You know, he was a preacher. I'm a third generation minister, but he was a mean Negro. You know what I'm saying? But it caused something in my dad and my uncles that caused them to go. You feel me? And so my dad, I believe, wanted to ensure that I got a piece of what he had. You know, when we talk about inheritance and all of that, I mean, you can give money to a fool.
Yeah.
That don't make him wise. Now you got a rich fool.
Shit, the lottery do it every day.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so the goal is not that the goal, if you will, extends to my family. The goal is that the wisdom, the weight that someone carries, you follow me? That transitions. Because now you can stand no matter what the situation may be. And you have the right perspective. You feel me? So I think that, you know, a lot of the stuff I questioned, a lot of stuff I didn't get, especially preparing, you know, we got our first child on the way right now.
Yeah, congratulations on that.
Man, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for, you know, the gift and all.
Well, I got to give it to you.
Well, but you told me what it's going to be, so I appreciate
I got to give it to you. It's a really cool gift.
It's like every day, I just have these little micro aha moments. Like, oh, okay, that's why he was doing that. you know, and I'm thinking things, you know, if our son or daughter, like, okay, so now I got to put this, okay, I got to throw, okay. You know, I'm down the street. I'm like at age 10, 18, 26, past my lifespan in thinking. You feel me? And the balance of it is that, but I get it. I can't give that then. I can't give that then. Okay, I want to do that then, but I have to monitor where he or she is at that point. Because I can jack them up by giving too much too soon. You feel me?
Yes. Another thing I'm going with my daughter. Too much.
Too soon.
When you got gifts for your birthday, you ain't even opened your gifts and call people to tell them thank you.
Oh, wow.
So I know exactly what you're saying. I really do. And now, like, and I'm sure, I hope there's going to be a part 2.
Listen.
To this coming.
Listen. You know, I wanted to be in a different expression though.
After you become a father. Well, you're a father now in the making.
Basically.
However, when that baby comes, and maybe that baby's 5, 10, boy or girl, I don't know. I'm sure you thinking you're trying to, be the man that your father raised you to be, or better. He's really, you think your granddaddy was mean? His ass gonna be in your head full time. I'm telling you, as a parent, and anybody can attest to this, as a parent, the first thing come to your mind is like, what did my mama or my daddy do to me in this situation? And so even as I'm talking to my daughter, I feel that my mother, my grandmother, my great-grandmother is speaking through me when I'm talking to her.
Wow.
Sit your ass down. You always in grown folks. I'm like, what the hell? I don't even talk like that. I'm serious. I don't even talk like that. What the fuck? And she's like, Mom, you sound like Emma. And I'm like, well, she raised me.
That's it.
Yeah.
My hope is to be the best of my dad, coupled with whatever I was still pulling on him for that I may not have gotten. You feel me? That's my desire, to hold that in a good tension. I call it a win. And so, and then to be early and often be apologetic to myself, apologetic again for whatever lesson I'm learning in the moment. Just, hey man, I get it now. I love you, thanks. you know. And then... And
you can't judge. It's like you get this revelation. I cannot... All that shit that I thought about my dad, because as kids, we like, our parents, they don't fucking know shit, we... One day, it clicks. We're like, you know what? I understand.
That's it. I get it.
I understand. Like, blah, 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 all that shit. I'm like, you know what?
That's it.
I get it.
That's it.
I would have did that to me, too.
At that point.
Yeah.
And so that I also want to be very... very open to receive dialogue from my son or daughter. That's one thing my dad did very well. That a lot of my friends didn't have that open dialogue space. So maintaining that. But you down the street from me. So what's your advice? If your book was Daughter of a Wino or something, what's the advice?
To you or to my? To
me.
Okay. My advice to be, and I've said this cliche. I know I've been repetitive with this, but to just always remember your foundation, where you come from, and make decisions based off of that authentically. Because a lot of times, we accumulate things in life. You got a beautiful wife, you got a baby on the way, y'all got nice cars, house, you're doing well with your career, your book. But at the end of the day, as you're making decisions or getting ready to make decisions, me living down the street from you, I would just tell you to always revert back to what you know, so that you know that your decisions and the consequences that's going to come from decisions, whether good or bad, came from an authentic space.
There it is.
Yeah.
You got it.
I was there. Oh my God, I really do this.
Yes, I might have to play that back in my head. Okay, Tasha said, remember the foundation of things.
Because a lot of times, like, we try to make decisions based off of where we are now, but it was our foundation that got us to where we are now. And so I've made some, I don't like to call it fucked up decisions. I like to call it lessons. And then I have to, I'll revert back to the space. I'll come from the space that I am now, and I'm like, that's not who I am.
What's an example of that?
I can only use me. Okay, let me see. What's a good example? Okay. My daughter wants to date. Okay.
I've been thinking about that. Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. My daughter wants to date, and I couldn't date at 16. I couldn't date at all. You know what I'm saying? And so, as a result, I snuck around. And so, it's quick to say, my daughter's like, Mom, if I have a boyfriend, can he come on family trips with us? And I'm like, immediately I want to come from that space of, fuck are you talking about? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But then I have to think back to, okay, my mom and dad laid out this for me. This is what I did. So instead of me just instantly making a decision based off of that moment, I went back to my training and put my daughter in my shoes, and I'm the mom. And how would I react? And I said, well, I don't think having a boyfriend is appropriate now. However, you can have a friend that's a boy that we can get to know, but I don't think trips are, that'll have to come down the line.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't want her to think that I'm trying to keep her from growing into the person that she's growing into by having relationships with boys. So I hope that made sense.
No, that makes sense.
Was that a good example?
That's a good one because, all right, for instance, right? Okay, so growing up in the church.
Okay.
We had cotillions, we had overnight sleepovers where we was practicing our steps and all this kind of stuff overnight. So this is co-ed.
All right.
And we used to all have to sleep in the girls would sleep in the sanctuary.
Okay.
And the guys, we slept in the gym or in like the choir room or something. So supposedly had separated. Or the guys in the balcony, the girls
supposedly.
Right.
Listen.
We was bad, man. One of my best friends, he passed away last year.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And man, we got so many memories together. Shanad Johnson, he was a legendary promoter here in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying?
So he did a lot of your shows and stuff? Concerts?
No. Shanad did like clubs, mean, HNIC. If you ever hear HNIC on the radio, that's all his stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But he would make sure my music got a push, X, Y, and Z, introduce me to it was nothing for him to call me like, hey man, I got such and such up here at the studio or in the club tonight.
And I forgot to give your full background to people that don't know who you are.
Oh, wow.
And are getting to know you. You know what I'm saying? So, son of the bishop, Eddie Long Jr., Ed Long's son, you grew up in the church, of course, raised with your mom, raised with your dad, but you were in the music side of the church. So you know what I'm saying, have won. Didn't you win like a Grammy?
Music and Youth Ministry. I just became a part of the Recording Academy, class of 2020.
Who
but no,
was it that won
I won a Stellar.
Okay, that's what I got it mixed up with. Okay,
my young dude, young Irod.
Okay, I remember that. Okay.
Stellar Award winner with writing.
Okay.
He won Gospel Rap Project of the Year,
yes, I remember
back in 06. And then a Stellar Award winning radio personality as well from my time and tenure over at Radio 1.
Okay.
Been syndicated independently syndicated since 2004.
You still should be syndicated.
Hey, we coming back. Went to the best school, you know what I'm saying, down the street from you.
Y'all was bad. Y'all was bad. Always came down to Panama City.
Well, this is why I really earned my Young Dirty Bishop name.
Yes,
you feel me?
Okay. So the winos always kick me back because I like to just start off the conversation authentically. I don't like it to be all cliche. So we have Ed Long Jr.
We down the
here.
street now.
Who's this and this and this? And I'm like, let's just start the conversation.
Facts.
So keep some into it.
But we growing up, we in the church, and so you church kids, you know what I'm saying? But we was also in the streets, partying, all this other kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? We was bad.
As you
we had Stevenson, Southwest DeKalb, Cedar Grove, Redan and all of this. And like when we come together, boy, it was like a little sanctified freaknik, if you will. And we doing youth trips. We going to New Orleans for Paul Morton's Full Gospel Fellowship. We going to D.C. for this youth encounter in Florida and all this. And, we playing, fingering girls on the bus, smelling fingers and stuff. We in the hotel rooms playing hide and go get.
That's why I always said preachers' kids are the worst.
We was wildin', you feel me?
My best friend was a preacher's daughter, and
You already know.
Y'all are different.
So,
Yeah.
so I know if I was wilding like this, I'm thinking now like, golly, what is this gonna look like? Because we didn't have the internet.
Yeah.
We didn't have social media.
But you still have control. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, but we ain't had that either.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but what I'm saying, so for us to watch pornos and stuff, we either had to get a tape from somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, or something. One of my aunts had a tape.
Yeah.
I used to sneak steal. I actually dubbed it. But we had more hurdles to go through. You know, we had to go, you remember the Scientific Atlanta boxes? Mm-hmm. You know, you had to find the channel, it's all squiggly.
Yeah.
Unless somebody knew how to crack the box.
Yeah.
Now, Instagram. You know, now it's.
But regardless of everything that you were supposed to do while being a young man and a preacher's kid, because like I said, y'all push the limits. I wouldn't even go out with some preacher's kids during senior skip day. I'm not going with y'all. Y'all, it's like y'all trying to get it out your system before you got to go turn it into the Lord. Like, listen.
I got you. That clock does too.
Yes, exactly. So, you know, at the end of the day, I think those are probably some of your best lessons in life.
That's why I got a whole chapter. Sex ed.
Yes.
Sex ed.
Yes. I'm trying not to give away your
No,
book.
it's good. Come on. They going to read it. I think the winos going to pull up.
No, they going to pull up. They always do. They always show support. So, no, but, you know, I was afraid too, you know, and I did end up finding inappropriate things on my daughter's phone, you know, and, you know, she expected me to act one way, and I just got on the iPhone and hit downtime and deleted all the apps and stuff. And I said, you know, you just got to earn your trust back with me, you know? And I get it. Like, you know, she's probably curious. All her friends are talking about what they're looking at and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I just don't want her. And this is all you got to tell your kids. And now she's getting it. Like, you know, yeah, is it emotional watching porn? Yes. Does it make you feel a certain way? Yes. But at the end of the day, all of that it's not real. That's not what it feels like when you're with a boy. You know what I'm saying? So you may thinking, oh, this is what it feels like for two adults to be together. But it just gave me the opportunity to be able to have that conversation based on what I've learned through my experience now that she's been exposed to it. So you have an advantage. You on the internet with your kids. So what they watching, you can already put them on game.
Yeah, I mean, you going in the right direction as far as how to channel that. Because, like, one of my partners, we found out his son be jacking off. So his
He's
nickname,
supposed to.
his nickname is Jackie Chan.
Oh, no. Y'all tell him that. Y'all tell him that. Listen, ain't nothing worse than a kid jacking off and they leave the semen all around the baseboards and fucking around the sheets and stuff. That's the worst part. I got friends and they sons do that. I said, that's not. Come on now, wash your sheets.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, I mean, I'm hearing this feedback because it's just about channeling that energy. You know,
you gotta tell them about it. It's education. Because, you know, you go overseas, kids get to watch porn. At young ages, they don't blur nipples. They don't blur the vaginas.
Okay, so that's that's a good point.
Okay.
I do think that there's a theory behind this, and I think there's some truth to it.
Yeah.
That the more you sensationalize something, coupled with making it exclusive or restricting people from having access to it, it stimulates or entices defiance. I mean, we think about Amsterdam, smoking weed, whatever. Yeah. It's not an epidemic there as it may be here. You know, if a child grows up in a nudist colony or environment or neighborhood, are they as heightened to be sensationalized by seeing people naked, like to your point, on the phone or out and about, or is it like, oh, what y'all so excited about? See titties and booty all day.
When I was in Amsterdam smoking, I saw children down in the red light district with their parents. Walking through, you see the ladies, they naked in the window, they soliciting. It's normal. It's not like, oh, they're excited. And people aren't busting down the windows down there either.
Got it.
Now the little American kids, you know, oh, they excited to fuck on something. You know what I'm saying? But for them, that's a way of life, and I like that because it does make it less appeasing, and that's why over there we don't have the drastic or extreme things that our kids go through over here versus over there.
Because my thing is, and I'm not so much condoning, because there's a line between this is right, this is wrong, according to the word of God. But my thing is the exposure, the proper exposure to something can mitigate how someone responds to it, someone's elation, excitement to go and partake in whatever is not proper or not right. For instance, fam, we always naked.
Always.
Underneath that jacket, underneath the green shirt, we still naked. God made us naked. As a matter of fact, when he found Adam and Eve in the garden, the first question he asked was, who told you you were naked? Meaning you've been naked this whole time. Talking to me, sun up to sundown, dusk to dawn, doing life together, naming animals, balling, y'all up here trying to procreate, all of this. And all of a sudden now, you naked? It's because they had a perverse experience with the enemy.
I was going to say.
You feel me?
That was my word.
So
it was the pervert.
This is a whole concept right here.
Yeah.
And so I'm big on the exposure thing, exposure through God's route. They had already been exposed to fruit. The enemy didn't present nothing new to them. He just put a twist on what they had already been exposed to.
I say that all the time. Like my daughter, she's like, "Are you gonna walk around naked with Lamine around?" Hell, I'm his mama. Shit, he came from me. Listen,
from right here.
Exactly. Right, and guess what? It ain't gonna be as exciting, or he ain't gonna, I guess, do inappropriate things in order to, to do inappropriate things. You feel me? So, no, I'm going to be very open. Just like I'm open with you, I'm going to be open with him. This is life. You're going to see naked women.
That's real.
How are you going to react? You know what I'm saying? Like, no. So, but listen, I want to talk about you. We're going to switch subjects.
Come on.
Because we can be here all day. Listen. We can be here. This is the podcast room, so we can talk about whatever. It ain't got to be like all structured and stuff like that. But after the controversy happened with your dad, how was that on you? Like, how did you take that personally? I've watched a lot of interviews, and I haven't heard you speak about that.
I was talking to someone 2, 3, 4 days ago. Great question.
Okay.
And I said to him, bro, I'm going to be honest with you. To this day, who was I talking to? It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It does matter, but I still don't have the words to summarize, encapsulate, express. In radio, we're trained that you need that one-liner. You feel me? You need your tagline, you need this and all this kind of stuff. I got plenty of them.
Okay.
But for all of this, I don't have it.
Because I noticed reading your book, like you never really dived into that. Like how did, because here's the thing, it's one thing for him to go through the controversy and then find out that he's sick and then, these things are just piling on one another. But as a child and you're watching all this and the internet was just getting big around that time and got bigger, I always wondered, like, how did it affect the family? How did you?
Then you have to ask all of us individually.
I know, but for you,
it's so. Here's the thing, and I'm trying to be as simple as I can because it's a great question. And what the person said to me is that you may not have the words yet because it's not done. And I felt that because truly, redemption hasn't taken place. You feel me? We're on the pathway to redemption. And redemption is so much, for instance, the church I grew up in, we helped build, etc. I'm not involved there at all.
How does that make you feel?
Oh, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking on so many levels, but at the same time, it's liberating. It's heartbreaking because for us, it ain't church. You feel me? For some people, church is no different than working at IBM. For some people, for some pastors, for some leaders, for some board members, etc. It's just another organization. for me and for us, this is kingdom work. This is family. It's true community. You just can't. I just can't be a part of y'all family. You feel me? It don't just work like that. Mm-hmm. You could adopt me into your family, but I gotta come into the customs. I gotta have a certain respect. I gotta have a certain honor. I gotta understand how Big Mama work and how this person. I gotta gel in, and there needs to be a true invite, not just an organizational invite, mm-hmm. but there's got to be a true welcoming and beckoning from the people. You feel me? Mm-hmm. And there has to be some repentance, some forgiveness. It's just got to be a true gelling. It can't just be a job, an opportunity for somebody. You feel me? So there's a whole, it broke our community. I'm just going to say it. You know, that church family was an ecosystem. It was a lot of things, and it broke it.
And we're talking about new birth for the viewers that are watching. So
you know, it's like it's like, where do you go from here now?
I'm shocked that you took the path that you took after what the media did to your dad. Mm. Have you processed that?
I have no problem with turning up.
Okay. I know you don't. I've seen it. I've seen it. Listen.
But I'm here to have a good time.
Okay.
And so in that moment, we talking 2010. This is 12 years ago.
Right. Which is not that long ago.
I shared this story, and I just recently found out, like 2 or 3 days ago, that you had done some coverage on John Gray. Because I don't be in this space.
You knew.
I don't be in this space
listen,
like that.
Listen, I don't come for the pastors like that unless they send me the receipts. Now,
so
I don't just
listen. I'm gonna say this.
And I know that's one of your best friends.
John, I love John to life. So I'm gonna say this. I always challenge. Praise God. Mm-hmm. Hallelujah. I don't know if you consider yourself a blogger. I don't know if you consider yourself a reporter. Mm-hmm. I don't know. You have to tell me.
I am
journalist.
I don't like to use those words because I am initially like I like to consider myself a storyteller because mm-hmm. I like to put out stories that provoke change mm-hmm. in people. So I don't that's really good. Like to tell them that because you know they have labeled me as a blog, but a lot of times the stuff more times than we like to see the teaching moment in something. And so
ooh, that's good.
Although John Gray's scandal, listen, and I don't know if he told you.
We had never talked about it.
He talked to me. His wife, you know. And so we didn't directly talk to each other, but I did have people, the person that you had words with, because I always like to make a call before, like, yo, you know, I know what this is going to do. I know the size of my platform. And so you know, his wife was like, shit, do it. She was tired. You know, and it was like, you threw that away over some crab legs? You know? Like,
So this is what, listen, hear me. This is what I'm going to say.
I'm sorry, John. I'm sorry.
And I'm glad to hear you say these things because this is why, anyway, that's a whole nother thing. Me and him will probably talk again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Point being, and I would like to because I don't have no issue with him.
Yeah.
I just hate he took it the wrong way.
Yeah.
Point is this, and I'm glad to hear you say storytelling.
Yes.
To tell a greater story. Anyone, if it's a Perez Hilton to whoever is on local news telling a story, and this is part, I'm answering your original question and what I'm saying now.
Okay.
Is to be cognizant that where we are now is not where we have to remain. And that there are other people who are part of the situation. And so if we're going to bring something to the light, our work, so I believe you're a believer.
Oh, yeah.
Our work is never to just reveal something for the sake of revealing it.
Never. You'll be surprised. Listen. I get stuff that come across my tape. I'm like, nah. Like,
our work, if we're going to reveal something, is to help restore and edify. It's two things it said. It's in Proverbs. It says the glory of man is to uncover a thing. That's the glory of man. But the glory of God is to conceal a matter. So understanding that if my trajectory is for God to get all the glory, then if I'm uncovering something, then I'm in self-glory, because that's the glory of man. But the glory of God is to conceal. So if I'm focused only on God getting the glory, then how can I deal with this to where it's still concealed? And if I gotta pull it back, let me cover it still so that God can get the glory. That's a part of why I didn't move and do a lot of things and still haven't, because I'm still covering people that are not covering me. When Jesus is at the well with the woman, right? Jesus was in this moment, he was a reporter. He was a storyteller, a blogger, all of this.
Now you don't have him riding there talking about Tasha thinks she's Jesus now.
No. But feel me.
Okay.
He's sitting down with this woman.
Okay.
And she's offering him a drink and all this stuff. They're going back and forth about the water. And then he said, well, cool, yeah, I take some water, but look, you thirsty too. You've been in these streets type thirsty. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He said, but I got a water that will quench your thirst. It's the Holy Spirit. Now, she tried to act like she don't know what he's talking about. Well, I only got one man. You liar. You got 5, 6 husbands. Because in that time, if you slept with somebody, that was your husband. So he called her a hoe in a nice way and said, I've been reading your timeline. They done text me and told me what you got going on. I know about you. But go forward today and sin no more. And I'm going to help cover your mess up. So he was able to expose her to herself, you feel me, while still covering her and holding this in a weird, tense space. So as I'm going through this situation, I know what other Negroes is doing. I know what pastors got going on who talking about my dad. I still to this day now, and am trying to hold intention and not uncover people and go off. Not do this. And I brought John up because he helped me, as you talked about, when you're raising your child, stick to the foundational things. He helped me stick to the foundational things that my dad taught me. I should be locked up because when I was sitting at a bar, my dad calls me and says, hey, you're going to see some stuff on the news. We're going to meet so we can talk about this. But I don't want you to be caught off guard. No less than 2 minutes after that, I see my dad's face on the TV screen at the bar with these lawsuit allegation reports or whatever. And John Gray comes downstairs. The bar was below his condo at the time.
So you didn't know him?
Nothing was going on. I knew John, yeah. We was working together.
Okay.
He and I were working together at the church at New Birth. Okay. I don't know how he knew I was down there. He came down, sat next to me and said, how you feeling? I said, I'm finna go for a ride. Immediately, he knew what I was talking about. I had a Springfield Armory XD9 in my glove box, in my SUV outside. And I knew where a couple of them stayed. Out of body experience. In that moment, he said to me, you're not going anywhere. We're going to sit right here and we're going to get through this. He arrested me and brought me back down. And we talked, and I had to realize that this affected me and was going to affect me, but it was still about my dad. And I couldn't jack this up for him. I couldn't mess this up for him. I didn't know enough. You feel what I'm saying? So it's two things that's going on. I'm supporting my dad and realizing I can't be me in this moment because this will mess him up. So let it grow me up. just stand, bro.
Well, you had relationships with those boys, didn't you?
Oh, man. Negro's been over my house.
Yeah.
Spent the night. Done some music. Showed them Pro Tools and all of this. Let them jump on the mic, various things. I'm like, what's going on? So from that moment going forward, the trauma that I'm experiencing is seeing, like we were talking about before, people who I don't know my whole life switch up. Now, I'm not tripping on lay members of the church. If you're a member of the church, you never met my dad, you just come to the church. You may even view him as a rock star. That's, and look, man, if you need to find another church, whatever, this is too much, I get it. Because people don't go to church for more drama. People go to church to get delivered from their drama. So I get it. If this is too much, cool. But it's the people who...
If you're like me and suffer from hyperpigmentation and ingrown hair due to excessive shaving and waxing on your cooch, inner thighs, and other intimate areas, I've got something for us. And Skin Souffle has created some amazing organic skincare products just for us. Even if your skin is super sensitive like mine and you always scratching, as Skin Souffle's Intimate Razor, Bump Corrector, and Super Strong Dark Spot Eraser are ideal products to help make your skin perfect all again. Order now at skinsouffle.net and use the promo code TASHA for 10% off.
I was placed in this hospital room for high blood pressure complications. I did everything my doctors told me to do, including taking the prescribed medications, which I've been on for years, but I still ended up here. When I got out, I learned about my olive leaf, an all-natural extract that got my hypertension under control. Don't continue to drug yourself into becoming healthier. Go to myoliveleaf.biz to learn more.
The reviews says it all. It's time to unlock the secret to freshness, happiness, and overall great feminine hygiene. It's something we don't like to talk about, but around 80% of women experience feminine odor a few times a week. Here's the solution. Belle's Secret created a formula that washes away odor-causing bacteria, heals your vulva, and balances your pH, plus it's all natural. Check out bellsecret.org to start your journey to better feminine hygiene and use the code TASHAK20 to save on your purchase now.
I still love him. He's still my brother. That's my mama's child.
Everybody doesn't have the how to go with the who.
You only really have one physical sense, which is touch. Get back to where we were, we would need to segregate.
Mainly, most people that fall for this are gay.
And you all need to figure some things out.
Be like, oh, I see why my mommy did what she did.
Trust me when I say this shit's gonna happen. It's gonna fly.
I believe in a hand up and not a handout.
You could go through my DMs. There's no women shooting their shot at me in my DMs.
He went and found his mother.
Mama and you.
Were there in true relationship. It's the people who were in covenant relationship as pastor or bishop or this or that. It's certain celebrities that this man done sat with in their worst time while they facing federal charges and X, Y, and Z. And it's like, dang.
Nobody to be found.
Not even that. When I'm looking and I'm seeing comedians use my dad in their whole stand-up. You know what I'm saying? When I'm seeing certain radio personalities go from being mentored by him to now they doing skits on their radio show. and you feel me? Mm-hmm. This is a whole swing of things. And I'm just like, okay, I can't be me in this moment. What is the lesson in this, Lord? And I'm still learning that lesson. I've learned a good bit of it. It's been 1,000 times I wanted to just get on Instagram and just start going off and just unlocking the vault and saying, this nigga ain't it. And if y'all want to talk about a scandal, let me tell you about this preacher scandal. And that, listen, I can have an unwind with Ed.
Listen, we can do that at a later date, okay?
I can have my own show, and folks will be pissed.
That's why I ain't never liked his ass anyway. You know how they is now. Look, you already know. And I tell people that, like, listen, I get so much stuff, but I'm very selective on what I choose to put out. And I do ensure that I do contact the people, because I don't, it's like that call that your daddy made. Like, hey, you gonna see some stuff. I didn't have to call Mr. Gray's wife. You see what I'm saying? I didn't have to have people reach out to him, but because I knew, I'm like, listen, there's a lesson in this, and people are, listen, at the end of the day, like, I hate when, and this is, and I'm sure, like, one thing I love about your dad was real through it all. He was real. I love that he was private. I love that he was a very selfless person. He always made sure that he was out giving, helping people. You know, like I said, the allegations were total bullshit. Now, I looked at that, the cell phone pictures. He's fully clothed.
Let me talk.
Look. When they put the cell phone picture up, they say he sent the guys a cell phone picture.
He never sent the picture.
Listen, I know that. He fully clothed. I said, but he's fully clothed. So what are we saying here? Are we trying to say that there's? But go ahead. We're here for you.
No. It's all good.
You want to talk about that picture?
I just want to say that first of all, everybody got some pictures in their phone after the gym, whatever, the flex game on.
Right.
Pop was an athlete. That's what he was. The pictures were not sent. If you think about what took place maybe 6 months before these lawsuits were filed, those pictures was taken from him. As you mentioned, everything was staged. That's why his statement was simply, I'm not the man that I am being painted to be. I'm going to let that sit there.
No, and like I said, one day I will, maybe sooner than later, because like even my hairstylist, he knows the boys, and he knows what went down, and none of that stuff happened. None of it happened. I mean, and even the interview, I was like, I don't know why people just didn't take the interview for fact. They came out of their mouth. There was no sex. Then what was it?
And it's got 2 million views right now.
What if there was no sex? What the fuck was it? See, I'm from Panama, and I think a lot of people get, you know, my platform, you know, people who I wouldn't say don't like to think, but, you know, they don't go past. They don't try to see, I guess, the entire picture.
How you speaking my language? Come on.
Listen. Because I'm from Panama City, Florida. And one thing, like, even though we were poor as fuck, I didn't see nothing that even remotely signaled what I'm going to be doing today.
Wow.
No idea.
Wow.
No idea. But one thing that keeps me being me is the women that raised me. Because even though we would laugh, she fast as fuck. Look at his ass. He on that shit. Through everything that they said, they were teaching. Because a lot of times, like this cancel culture, this you know, comedians can't tell jokes no more because everybody's sensitive. No, fuck being sensitive. Fuck me, y'all are fucking buried. You understand what I'm saying? And you don't want to see what the real situation is. And so unfortunately, you know, my aunts, my mom, you know, my grandma, they would tell you, even you ain't shit, but you can be shit if you stop fucking with that ain't shit nigga. It's not gonna come out politically correct. And my platform is not politically correct. We're authentic. I'm gonna say what's on my mind, but at the end of the day, I have no malice towards any of these people because at the end of the day, they're still human. You know what I'm saying? And so with your dad's situation, I'm like, this shit is not, it's not adding up. And I just hate that as a people, as black folk, even the folk that attended the church, they couldn't see the bullshit for what it was. Where are the naked photos? Where are the recordings? Where are the pictures of y'all together? Where are the fucking text messages that were inappropriate? And then you do an interview and you say there was no sex. So, sir, and then the interviewer didn't follow up to say, well, what the fuck was it? She decides to skip past
Jodie Fletcher.
and continue to let him talk. I said, well, roll the tape back. So we never said there was sex. We just said there were things that were done that was inappropriate. What? What was inappropriate? He yelled at y'all? Told you fucking no, you couldn't have that? What was it? I'm in a business where I will have kids contact me and say they parents raped them. Just because mom wouldn't buy them a ticket to a fucking concert. I kid you not.
Wow.
That's where we're going because people don't want to be 100. Especially when you're raising these little motherfuckers. These little boys, listen, no, listen. These little boys, and
she had to roll the sleeves up.
I do, because I'm like, first of all, they ain't come from shit. And I say that with everything. And your father, being the person that he was, is trying to establish and build a foundation and show them more.
Exposure.
You know, and people are seeing that and saying, because I grew up, what you doing in a man's face? Is anything inappropriate going on? Just because I'm having a conversation? Like, what's wrong with that? And I just feel that his position and where he was going, especially politically, did not sit right with a lot of people.
You were a smart young lady.
I knew where he was going. I knew. We in a conservative fucking state. I knew. But go ahead, this your interview.
No. You speaking it for me.
This your interview. Like I said, there ain't nothing nobody can tell me. Show me. Because I'm in the business of receipts. You understand what I'm saying? Where are the receipts? Oh, well, we need to believe. Believe what? There was a reason somebody threw their ass away. And I hate that it's just real like that. There was a reason they was thrown away. Nobody wanted to be fucked up with that type of shit. And they friends. I know a lot of their friends. They knew that they plotted this shit. That man ain't touched them boys. Wow. And, yes, and because we come from a lot of fatherless homes, and just people don't know what a genuine interaction is between a genuine black man and a child. They always want to make it perverted. They always want to make it something that it's not. And like I said, the little boys came from shit, and now, according to their friends, they back to shit. Broke, ain't got nothing, ain't on fucking social media, no kind of platforms, can't even write a book to be a survivor's book.
Wow. Tasha K, ladies.
No, I'm just saying, when you called me, I was just like, does he know I know John Gray was in your wedding? And I was like, but I know you had just wrote a book. And I was just like, I can really use this as an opportunity because my platform's bigger than now. At the time, I think I had like 100,000 at the time. But let me tell you, when I made that first video on your father, that shit went viral overnight. I can show you the video now. The comment, you don't know what the fuck you talking about. Trying to say your daddy had AIDS.
So
I said,
I'm still on your question for 15 minutes ago because it's so many emotions, and the story is not over.
It just keeps on giving.
It just keeps, because the thing is, it was one thing after another, and then when it looks like, okay, we can finally start to breathe, you feel me? I go through a divorce, all right? Then from that, there's a lot of change coming with that. And okay, we starting to come back up. Then Pop is diagnosed with this pancreatic cancer.
And you have a whole fucking foundation on it.
Yeah.
Like.
And he's deteriorating, before our eyes, if you will. And so I praise God that his transition wasn't a car accident, because there's no time to say goodbye. I praise him that it wasn't, something more instant in his trauma. But we had time to be with him every day, have certain necessary conversations, do certain things, him still extend wisdom. This Negro was still running leadership meetings 3 weeks, 4 weeks before he transitioned.
As he should have.
He just got so much vision, so much. When Hebrews talks about in these, like, the Moseses and the Abrahams and all that, they died in faith. Mm-hmm. I got a whole nother perspective on that because he transitioned still believing. But at the same time, it's just so much anxiety, is so much, that you still, where this is headed. And then after that, in a time where we should have been able to settle and just mourn, we couldn't, because now we got to deal with all the church stuff and all the church affairs and, who's pastoring now. And then, like I mentioned to you before, they chose not to utilize me at all. You feel me? How you go from being director of this and involved in this and all of this to now it's like, well, we don't need you. You mean to tell me I'm not an asset at all here? Oh, y'all crazy. So that's when I know, okay, it's something that the enemy's really busy. Then you got turnover again, and then it's looking like I'll be, if not a front runner, heavily involved again. And there's excitement amongst the people. You follow me? That family that I'm talking about.
I was just going to ask, how do you feel about a reality show personality running New Birth right now?
New
Birth said, you know what, we've gone through so much, we got to figure out how to rebuild this. And so instead of resorting back to, the things that your father put in place and laid out for them, they want to go and join reality TV. And then they got the reality TV pastors in there with the celebrities front row. The celebrities coming out doing podcasts and they ain't going back because it's a money grab.
I'm praying through that.
Okay.
The lesson I learned the first time, I wasn't praying for the pastor. And when I started praying for him, immediately things started shifting. Mm. So I know that's just another alliteration of the power of prayer. Mm. He and I are very cool now. I just spoke at his church earlier this year, had a great interview about the book, we're good, like we're really good. Okay. He apologized to me, and it was genuine. People can apologize and not be genuine. Right. You know this. So in praying through, as I mentioned earlier, things just aren't over in the opinion of many. I pray for him because I care. Mm-hmm. I pray for him because I'm concerned. I pray for him because he needs it. I pray for him because the ministry needs it. There are still many people there that are hurting, and their connection is not what is. Their connection is what once was and what can become. Mm. They're committed to what they've always been committed to, the overall mission, the kingdom. You feel me? I try to speak as highly as possible about him. I don't even try to mention his name. You notice I haven't.
Yeah, I know.
I love him genuinely. I thought that we could have done some awesome things together for the kingdom. I thought that we could have worked together. I'm still open to it, but that's not something I can force. My desire has always been to continue to move the vision of my father and of that church forward. I'm the legacy. My siblings are the legacy. It's nothing anybody can do about that. One can have the ministry, but not the mantle. You feel me? So I'm resolved and confident in that.
So you believe one day your family will, I guess, return home to New Birth?
I believe that the house will be set in proper order at some point. That family is not just us. That family is the bishops and the pastors, the other churches that were once New Births that had to change their name because they were mandated to. That family is people who are locally, regionally, nationally, and internationally who are no longer connected to the ministry because of a lot of the decisions that have been made. It's not a selfish thing. It's not about me. It never was about me. I'm the man's son. I'm the son of a bishop. But he covered a lot of people. He fathered a lot of people. He helped a lot of people. You shared your testimony, how he helped you in your worst time. And so one day I'll die. So it can't just be about me. It's about what God desires to do through that place. And there's so many who are experiencing a lot of the trauma that I talked about because they feel now disconnected. So it's not just about me, my siblings, our family. It's about even the unknown that is now lost. When the house is truly set back in order, man, it's gonna be crazy.
You know what? I can sit here and talk to you for hours, days, okay?
You sound like my cousin, Money Long. Do this for hours.
Right. Listen, awesome book.
Thank you.
Son of a Bishop. This is actually my first physical copy. I had to download it on Kindle. I was having a little trouble getting it, but it's a very personal book. I learned a lot about you, and even though, like, of course, that's your dad, and people, of course, will expect you to speak highly of your father, you were very real about your relationship with him.
Thank you.
And the things that he taught you. And so I just want to, hold up the book here.
Let's go. Yeah.
Son of a Bishop by Ed Long Jr., okay? This is his baby. You Are the Legacy. It's a very powerful book. Like I said, it wasn't long enough for me. Okay, that's why I was like, where's part 2?
We might do an extended. Come on.
Yes, where's part 2? And like I said, I believe that regardless of how media tried to paint your dad, the way in which you and your family and your siblings are moving, you can definitely tell that he raised y'all fucking right. He really did. Because, listen, y'all ain't out here like the Jacksons and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all really, I can see the faith, I can see the passion, and I can see where your hearts are, especially yours. And so, and like I said, I'm honored for you to be here, and I didn't want it to be anything more than authentic and inspirational. And so, and it was more than that. And I'm sure the viewers are gonna want you back here. But in the meantime, I want them to visit the Amazon link below. Okay, we're gonna have your Instagram below too, so they can follow you. They can ask you questions. Send you all the parenting advice that you're gonna need.
Hey, holla at your boy, please. Okay, please.
Beautiful wife. I did see your wedding videos on your page and everything like that. And tell John Gray I'm sorry.
Listen. We celebrate they are together, thriving, the church is thriving, all that.
That's all that matters, okay? Tell him, listen, I got a job to do, you know what I'm saying? But,
and I'm sure he would tell you, I love you.
I know he would. I tell him I have him some crab legs when he come. He ain't got to go ask nobody else for nothing. Look, I said, John.
Listen, you ever hear anything about me, just come holler at me.
I'm going to call you first. I'm going to call you. I'm like, look, but this what we got to run with.
Because my closet is wide open. Done brought you some tequila. Listen, I'm letting you know what time it is.
Thank you. So, Son of a Bishop, okay, by Ed Long Jr. The link is below in the description box, guys. Please follow him, support him, ask him questions, tell him to put out a new album. Where's that
I got
at?
a single right now.
Oh, you do?
It's called God Made.
Okay.
It's the soundtrack to the book. God Made. It's on Apple, Spotify.
Okay, we'll link that below too as well. And I just want to thank you for coming here and just being open and just being yourself and, continuing to walk, and build and continue the legacy in which your father left, okay?
Thank you.
And so I hope to God one day that New Birth is put back in the family's hands.
Wow, that's strong.
That's your house.
Wow.
And it ain't been running well since you left.
Wow.
So, and if they got a problem, they can call me. Listen, with that being said, anything you want to tell them before we sign out?
Listen, wherever you are, whatever you may be finding yourself going through, first of all, I want you to know, if you never give up on yourself, you never give up on the God that's in you, you will get through this. And I know we turn up, we have a lot of good time. Cheers to you, salute to you for not giving up on yourself.
Yes.
But I want to give this one caveat. Don't always turn to this. Turn to God. Do this to celebrate your overcoming. It's your brother Ed Long Jr. Don't stop keeping.
All right. With that being said, now we got to go. Bye. Thank you so much for this. This is nice. Look. Shit gonna be like, oh, shit. I see chili salt. I appreciate that.